in the headlines tonight. More than 60,000 people flocked to the Sha Tin Racecourse to try their luck in the Year of the Snake. Festive celebrations and mega events draw tourists to the SAR, giving a significant boost to the hotel industry. And worshippers continue to flock to the Chekong Temple on the third day of the Lunar New Year, praying for good health and good fortune.
It was a sea of excitement at Sha Tin Racecourse today, packed to the brim with around 63,000 eager punters and curious tourists. The crowd flocked to kick off the Lunar New Year with a flutter, soaking up the vibrant horse racing culture and joining in the spectacular on-course festivities to welcome the Year of the Snake. Racegoers wasted no time diving into the action, spinning lucky windmills for a dose of good fortune and snapping photos with festive decorations. Upon entering, attendees were greeted with a Windwheel Fortune pen and a chance to enter the Chinese New Year lucky draw with 888 gold or gold-plated ornaments up for grabs. The opening ceremony saw Financial Secretary Paul Chen and Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism Rosanna Law take center stage, performing the traditional eye-dotting ritual for the lion dance, a symbolic start to the day's celebrations. The buzz was electric as punters lined the trackside, cheering on their chosen horses with unbridled enthusiasm. We're here to celebrate the new year and soak up the good vibes, said this mainland tourist, adding that even without a win, the lively atmosphere was worth the trip. For this punter, it was all about small bets for entertainment. As she said, she set aside around $200 for the occasion. Even international visitors couldn't resist the infectious energy of the day.
I love the horse racing in Hong Kong. It's very nice. It's a very nice vibe. Everyone's together, everyone's having fun.
The race card featured 11 thrilling events, with the Hong Kong Classic Mile, the first leg of the 4-year-old Classic Series, stealing the spotlight. Alongside the Centenary Vase and the Chinese New Year Cup, the day delivered edge-of-the-seat action and unforgettable moments on the track. Kun Tingyang, Cable News.
The Hong Kong Jockey Club's recent proposal to increase the broadcasting of non-local horse races was endorsed by the lawmaking sector, with confidence that it will help promote horse racing tourism in the city. Currently, the club is allowed to conduct betting on 25 non-local races per local race day and 37 simulcast occasions on non-local race days, known as simulcast days. The club's recent proposal suggested gradually lifting these limits, including raising the number of simulcast races per day to 40 and 55, and the number of simulcast days per season to 53 and 70. This initiative is expected to generate $17.28 billion in betting turnover and $1.82 billion in additional tax revenue over the next 4 racing seasons. Taking to the airwaves, lawmaker Lo Wai-kwok said he believes the proposal is highly beneficial because being able to watch both local and international races together is very appealing to local racing fans and tourists. Similarly, the horse racing industry supports the proposal. Apollo Ng, chairman of the Hong Kong Thoroughbred Breeders Alliance, spoke on the same radio program that the current number of non-local race broadcasts and days is insufficient, noting that if a race is not broadcast, some racing fans might not want to place bets. He believes easing these limits will enhance viewing flexibility. Ng also said that the additional broadcast races may take place during the summer holidays, and hopes that the proposal will improve the viewing quality for local racing fans in the long term. Jeremy Chu, Cable News.
The city's vibrant festive atmosphere and expanded hotel capacity post-pandemic had driven a significant surge in tourist arrivals during the Lunar New Year, according to the government. At today's Chinese New Year race day, Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism Rosanna Lau announced that approximately 216,000 travelers entered the SAR yesterday, the second day of the Lunar New Year holiday. Of these, over 187,000 were mainlanders, a trend Lau partly attributed to the reinstatement of the multi-entry visa scheme for Shenzhen residents. This Lunar New Year also marks the first since the government reintroduced the 3% hotel accommodation tax on January 1st, following its suspension in July 2008. Lau emphasized that the tax would have minimal impact on visitors, stating that as long as tourists enjoy their time in Hong Kong and feel they're getting good value, the 3% levy would not deter them. She added that many hotels are operating at full capacity, reflecting the city's appeal as a festive destination. Echoing this recovery, Timothy Chui, Executive Director of the Hong Kong Tourism Association, noted that over 50% of tour groups are now opting for overnight stays. However, he highlighted that visitor numbers remain below pre-pandemic levels. He also noted a rise in outbound tour groups during the holiday period, though the increase was smaller than that seen in 2024, when the city celebrated its first Lunar New Year following the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions. Japan and South Korea were among the most popular destinations for these outbound tours, according to Chui. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
As a ritual on the third day of the Lunar New Year in the city, worshippers flock to Che Kung Temple in Sha Tin to pray and seek blessings. In Chinese culture, this day is known as Chek Hao or Red Mouth, and it is believed that arguments are more likely to occur. As a result, people traditionally visit temples to pray and avoid social interactions. In addition to praying for blessings from Che Kung, a Taoist deity associated with protection and fortune, many people bought toy windmills, which resemble the temple's signature fan-shaped brass wheel of fortune, spinning for good luck in the coming year. This woman shared her hopes for everyone to have jobs, be happy, and see a prosperous society. Surprisingly, the character Wukong from Journey to the West was spotted at the temple. And there were also friends from the West.
I've been here last year, and so all my dreams become true. So that's why I come back this year again.
So what are your New Year wishes?
It's a small secret. Yes.
A Thai tourist was also at the scene to experience the unique atmosphere.
A lot of people come here. I want to see how Chinese New Year do. Yes, it's cool and a lot of smoke. I cannot open my eyes. Yeah, it's difficult, but it's okay. Yeah, I want to see.
The temple in Sha Tin will return to regular hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. starting tomorrow. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
A total of 65 severe influenza cases that require intensive care were reported last week, including 46 fatalities, according to the Center for Health Protection. In addition, 10 more adult flu-related deaths were logged within the first 2 days of this week. Since the beginning of the flu season this year, severe adult flu cases had accumulated to 158, of which 98 of them were fatal, both the highest figures in the last 5 seasons. During the same period, 8 severe cases among children were logged, with 7 occurring between January 26th and 29th. The patients suffered from complications such as sepsis and shock, but no fatalities were reported. Only 2 of the affected children have been vaccinated against influenza viruses.
Investigators from the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board have recovered the flight data recorders from an American Airlines jet which collided with a U.S. Army helicopter above the Potomac River near Washington, D.C., killing 67 people. The plane flying from Wichita in central United States was carrying 64 people, while 3 soldiers were aboard the helicopter which had lifted off from a military base in neighboring Virginia. The cause of the mishap is yet to be determined, but American media reports suggest that control towers at Reagan National Airport, where the passenger jet was heading, were short-staffed. The airspace in the US capital is congested, and commercial planes and military aircraft often cross paths, leaving little room for error. More than 40 bodies have been recovered so far, and the search operations are ongoing. The wreckage of the American Airlines Bombardier CRJ-700 aircraft was split into 3 sections. Both the plane and the Black Hawk helicopter had anti-collision systems on board, but experts say the technology does not work below 700 feet. The last recorded altitude for both aircraft was around 200 feet. This was the worst air disaster in the United States since 2001. Sachin Katwi, Cable News.
President, welcome. Thank you very much.
Offering condolences to the families of the victims who died in the crash.
Please.
U.S. President Donald Trump said the work has now shifted to a recovery mission.
For the family members back in Wichita, Kansas, here in Washington, D.C., and throughout the United States and in Russia, we can only begin to imagine the agony that you're all feeling. Nothing worse. On behalf of the First Lady, myself, and 340 million Americans, our hearts are shattered alongside yours, and our prayers are with you now and in the days to come. Thank you very much.
However, later, Trump blamed his predecessors Joe Biden and Barack Obama for lowering standards to hire air traffic controllers, which he speculated to be the cause of the disaster.
I changed the Obama standards from very mediocre at best to extraordinary. Only the highest aptitude, they have to be the highest intellect and psychologically superior people were allowed to qualify for air traffic controllers. And then when I left office and Biden took over, he changed them back to lower than ever before.
When asked whether diversity programs in hiring air traffic controllers were to blame for the crash, Trump could not provide any reasoning.
We have a high standard. We've had a much higher standard than anybody else. And there are things where you have to go by brain power, you have to go by psychological quality, and Biden went by a standard that's the exact opposite. So we don't know, but we do know that you had 2 planes at the same level. You had a helicopter and a plane. That shouldn't have happened. And,
Jeremy Chu, Cable News.
We're going to see.
5 Thai nationals who were taken hostage by Hamas during a raid on southern Israel in October 2023 were released by the Palestinian group after almost 500 days in captivity in the Gaza Strip. They were taken to a hospital near Tel Aviv after crossing over into Israel. Thailand's ambassador to Israel, Panabba Chandra Ramya, said they were all in good health and had spoken to their families back home. More than 38,000 Thais are employed in Israel as farm workers. Under the ceasefire deal, Hamas also freed 3 Israeli hostages. One of them was 20-year-old Israeli soldier Agam Berger. Gadi Moses was reunited with his family after 15 months. The 80-year-old was one of the oldest hostages who remained in captivity in Gaza. There was chaos when 29-year-old Arbel Yehud was handed over to representatives from the Red Cross in the city of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza. In exchange, Israel released 110 Palestinian prisoners. Some were taken to the West Bank city of Ramallah, while others were sent to Gaza. 15 hostages have been freed by Hamas since the ceasefire came into effect on January 19th.